Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on another project here in the shop, and you guys might be wondering what we're doing. Well, today we're not going to be working on the SS behind me or the Corvette that's up on the lift. We actually have a project for the lift, and that project is basically going to be some maintenance items for the hydraulics on the lift, as well as replacing two of the fittings on the passenger side here behind me on the hydraulic ram. Now you guys might be wondering, why are you replacing parts? Well, you guys can't see it, but I have had a slow leak coming out of that fitting, not the 90-degree fitting, but where the hose and plugs into the bottom of the lift. I have had a slow leak there over the last couple months, and I've lost a couple quarts of trans fluid. I just keep rags like around it, and I basically clean that up every couple days. So it's time to finally fix this. And how are we going to be fixing this? We're going to be fixing this with a new set of fittings that are not OEM to the MaxJax brand. MaxJax offers you a very poor foreign-made hose connection fitting. And as you guys can see behind me, we've already replaced this once before. We replaced the ones that were on the power cart. Well, I guess the power wall unit now. And as you guys can see, these are not the same fittings that came with the MaxJax unit. We might be able to get a better view here. Yeah, you see those round brass colored fittings? We'll be replacing that. Now, we're not going to be replacing them with the same set of zero leak fittings that we ordered earlier. I actually couldn't find those. I don't know if the manufacturer just stopped producing them or they've changed part numbers, but all of my old part numbers did not work. And I actually will have a link to that upgrade in the video description above with those hose end leaks. So, a friend of mine bought a MaxJax recently, and he was looking for like hydraulic hose fitting suggestions. I told him don't use the OEM ones because the ones from MaxJax are, to be honest, they're just garbage. So one of the first things that people do is upgrade them. And what he found was a fitting company called Summit Fitting Supply, and we found a set that will fit the 3/8 NPT. And here's the male part. So it's Summit FF38M06N, and the female part is Summit FF38F06N. So you've got your female portion, your male portion, and we're going to simply put these, take the hydraulic hose off of the wall unit, clean that up, take the hydraulic hose unit off the power, the hydraulic ram on this side, and then we'll put these where they go. So let's go ahead and get started with removing the hoses off each end. Alright guys, I popped the, I want to call it the passenger side, the left hand side ram. Pop that here off the lift power cart, and there actually was no fluid came out. There's a slight layer of film of ATF fluid on both ends. I mean, you can't even see it on the rag where I cleaned it up. So this did not leak at all, popping that off, so that's good. Now, this side over here on the lift, the hydraulic ram shouldn't have any fluid in it, but what I'm concerned about is actually the hose. The hose might have a ton of fluid in it, and we need to take that hose end off and replace it. So I'm going to grab a couple of oil pans over here, and just to have something to try to catch the hydraulic fluid, or ATF fluid in this case, as soon as we pop that off, because I'm afraid that this thing's going to leak real bad. Alright guys, as you can see, there's a little bit of fluid in the pan, not a ton, but what we're going to be doing today is actually taking these hose ends off and swapping it. So this is the female side, this is the very poorly made female side, and if you look, the thread on this, it's 3/8 NPT. The length, overall length, is about the same as what this one is. So what we're going to do today is use our really large wrench to hold the fitting that we're trying to keep tight, not loosen, so basically this 90. Then we're going to use our other wrench and try to break them loose. I think we got it. Yeah, we did. Alright, so just had to knock that loose. I don't know how much fluid is going to come out of here. I would assume some. Oh, alright, well that's less dramatic than I thought it was going to be. Clean the fitting off. Alright, now we're just trying to get one good wrap of sealant tape on there. Now this is gray. This is from Lowe's. Supposedly it's their high strength brand. I have used it on several types of hose fittings and haven't had too bad luck with it, but I don't know about it being high strength. Being honest, it's just same thing as normal. They just put a different color in it. So, alright guys, we got our thread sealant tape on, and we're just going to screw this in until it stops spinning. Alright guys, I'm not sure what you can see, but I have slipped a 22mm socket over the end of this male hose piece, and guys, this wasn't even tight. Just start loosening it and it'll come right off. Mine, honestly guys, was barely hand tight. So on that note, that might have been that was more than likely the source of our leak. Like, yeah, I could almost guarantee it. I'm going to clean off the thread sealant tape. Yeah, try to get that all off. Now, this might be kind of hard to tighten just because I don't think I'll be able to get a socket around this. Alright guys, I do not have a socket large enough to fit over this new fitting. I mean, that's probably, I went up to a 26mm. I'm sure it's some crazy imperial size, but I absolutely don't have anything that size. So what we're going to do is do it the old-fashioned way of just using a couple wrenches. So this would be hard to see, so I'm going to hold the base with my smaller wrench, and I'm going to tighten it with my bigger wrench behind it, obviously twisting it to the right. And that should be able to get this tight. I mean, I hope. Alright guys, that's about as tight as I can get that. And we'll tighten that back up. Alright, I think that's gonna be it. Alright guys, now that we have tightened the base tower, now that we've tightened this hose right here, these should click together. So if we did our job right, we should be able to get that clicked in without any more leaks. Alright guys, I tried lifting arms. I did not see this side move at all. So let's refill it, add more fluid, and try it again. Guys, did a real stupid mistake. I didn't reconnect the right side or passenger side of the hydraulic hose. So, let's try this again. approximately about a 1/2 inch off between the driver's side, the right side of the lift, and the left side of the lift. So the passenger side, the right side, is a little bit off. What I'm going to do is, now that the hydraulic rams are down and at rest, I'm going to bleed the top. And so what you simply do, guys, grab a 10mm wrench, open-ended wrench, open the air, let it hiss for a little bit, and close it. That's all you got to do. Alright guys, now that we've finished bleeding both hydraulic rams, that side had bled twice, and as soon as I cracked it, heard a bunch of air escape, and then, you know, the hydraulic fluid just started pouring out the top and running out all over the ram. So that solved that 1/2 inch kind of wobbly lift. Now they're both engaged at the same time, and they both are dropping at the same time. So we're spot on with the bleeding and getting everything connected. And the other thing we're going to do, since we bled out so much transmission fluid, not from tonight, but just over time, we're going to use this Walmart brand Fine ATF. It's basically, it's just a Dexron 3, and this is their brand. SuperTech is the Walmart brand, and Mercon 5, which is good for Dexron 3, 2, and Hondas, Toyotas, and stuff like that. So, you know, you can use hydraulic fluid in here, but obviously I have better access to a Walmart, and this was only $3.80 a quart, bought 4 quarts. I'm not anticipating needing all 4. I would say I probably need 2 at max, and so we'll just have plenty of spares and leftovers. Alright guys, I just finished putting in the 2 quarts of that Mercon 5, aka Dexron 3 for GM transmissions, and actually that's what the T56 calls for. It's Dexron 3. Could use that Walmart brand in the Corvette T56. However, we're not going to do that. For a lift, this is perfectly fine. You know, like, you don't need to go super crazy on your fluid, your oils for, you know, a tool. So, but 2 quarts, it's not to the top, but it's like 90%. We should be good. And like I said, you know, we did buy 4 quarts, so if we need to, I can obviously add another quart. But right now, we're good. And like I was saying, I've actually been using this Mercon, this Walmart brand oil, for the entire time I've owned this lift. So that we've been in this house for just about 3 years now. So 3 years in this house. And I had this lift in my old shop for, geez guys, at least 2 years, maybe another 3. So I've had this lift for quite a while. So I think we're going on 6 years of this lift with no issue. But what do I mean by that? Nothing mechanically has failed. The only thing that has failed are the cheap Chinese fittings that they unfortunately send you. So, like we were saying, these 2 fittings we replaced. As you guys just saw, the passenger side fittings that we just replaced, and the driver's side, this post, it's not leaking at all. I have them, but until that starts leaking, I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is, because that's kind of a pain. Alright guys, so there you go. That's finishing the lift maintenance, replacing those fittings, adding more fluid, bleeding out the top of the hydraulic lift post, and that's basically going to be about it. I'll have the part number to the fittings down below. I should be able to find them. Overall, pretty simple, just 2 wrenches, 3/8 NPT fittings with the 0 leak hose ends. You put them on and put some thread sealant tape on it, and that's it. Bleeding out the hydraulic rams, pretty simple, just put some weight on it. You don't have to have it all the way up. Just put some weight on it. Open up the bleeder screw in the top of both things, let the fluid flow out, close it, maybe raise it up a little bit more, open it back up, close it, and you should be good. So that's maintenance on the MaxJax lift, and obviously adding fluid is just adding more fluid. So we were down 2 1/4 quarts, and yeah, so just keep an eye on that. Oh, I forgot to mention something. That 2 quarts might be specific to my unit. As you guys can see, we have a extra long hose coming out into the right side of the power unit, coming down the wall, back behind my bench, back behind my storage unit, in between the air compressor and all this junk underneath the sway bar, back, and then here into the back of the post. And as you guys can see, there's no leaks. The powder coat is clean. Yeah, I need to clean the floor back behind the concrete, but we'll get to that. And so we have solved our leaking MaxJax fitting problem. I almost guarantee you everyone that has bought this lift has probably replaced those fittings. So if you guys haven't, if you have a MaxJax and you found my video, make sure you guys replace them. Whether you use the Summit fittings on the tower like I have, or the Italian fittings back on the wall. Either one should work just fine. So that's going to be it. If you guys like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. If you want to know when I upload new content, hit that bell notification button down below. And if you guys want to help support the channel, click the links below. We've got merchandise for sale: t-shirts, stickers, sweatshirts, key tags, all that good stuff. Click the links below, and anytime you guys make a purchase, all that money goes right back into the shop, right back into the tools, right back into the garage, right back into the cars, and that creates more content for you guys. So thanks guys, have a great day.